Alright, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but this was going pretty well. I will show you. My last pieces did not go well, but this piece is going really well, and I'm not sure the difference, well, I'm sure the difference is user error and setting up the torch correctly, but this is just some no-filler metal added fusion welding. So I thought I would try and get a shot of it for those of you who want to do some welding and don't have a TIG welder and can't afford a TIG welder. Perhaps you can get a torch on Craigslist and you can do welding tip is a little dirty here. Not sure what's up with that. Alright, let's see what we got. I don't know if you can hear that. Well, I got the music playing too. It kind of sounds like really light frying. Like just the lightest thing you can think of. Some really light oil in a hot pan. I don't know if you can see. I hope you can see. There's a little puddle developing on either side of the crack there. And in a moment, they go together, they become one, and they're like clear. You can see, I hope they're clear. It's a clear puddle. It's molten metal, but it's clear. Why isn't it joining? Come on, join up. And you push it towards the edge. I am not sure why it's not joining into one. Sometimes I find that I have to take a filler rod and just touch it to get it to go like that. And now that we have the puddle, we can take it back the other direction and push it really slowly towards the edge. There we go. Now we can bring it back. Hopefully you can see that really clear puddle there. I'm not getting the torch too close. If I get this torch too close, it will pop. I'm not sure why. I've looked in the interweb, but I didn't get a great answer. Lots of reasons. It pops because of reasons. So, if you can see that, you can kind of see, I can see, the line of heat coming from that tip towards the steel. You can't see it literally, but I can see its impact, its effect on the steel. And I can see the puddle. Hopefully you can see the puddle. And it's having difficulty moving forward here. And I'm not sure why. That often happens when I approach a tack. The tack steel must be harder than the regular mild steel, because it takes a while. It doesn't really want to. Now when it does that, it tells me it's going to pop soon. So I often just skip this and say, you know what, that tack is not going to do what I want it to do, and move forward. If you move forward too fast, the puddle won't move. So if the puddle's not moving, I move back into the puddle, and then it moves forward. So that means I'm moving too fast. If the puddle's not moving, I'm moving too fast. I'm going to have to move the camera in a second. So I'm moving forward, but the puddle's not moving, so I need to come back here and get it. There it goes. and there's Bob. So that could be my torch is too close. It could be I hit some, there's some tacks inside. I bet you're going out of view, so I'm going to get up and move the camera. I don't know if you can see any of this, but we'll find out. Alright, we're going to stay right there. I think you can see that okay. And we'll come back and restart the puddle. Now I can go back here and try and restart it, but I feel like it's easier to start the heat here. I'm no expert, by the way. I'm just self-taught, which to anybody who knows how to weld means I don't know how to weld. So I can get two pieces of metal most of the time to join together. That's the extent of my knowledge. So here you can see the puddle on either side of the cup. There it goes, it just joined. So now we'll bring it back this way. And there's a tack there to my right. So when we approach it, you'll see a lot of sparks flying. And you'll see, I don't know if you can see, my torch might be in the way. But the puddle doesn't want to move into the tack. I think because the tack metal is harder or more difficult to melt. It has now a higher melting temperature perhaps. But it doesn't want to melt. So often I just move over the tacks and start again on the other side. If I'm having difficulty, it doesn't want to move forward. I change my angle because I might be angled like this, and that's not necessarily better. Sometimes it seems like it's better, and other times it's not because the puddle it pops a lot sometimes. So anyway, I think I'm out of frame. Again, I am no expert. Just going to move you back like this and over like that. I am just getting the job done. One of the problems I have is adjusting the flame, I guess, to a what is it called? The right kind of flame. Not carburizing, and not the other one, to get it right, because sometimes it just seems to be blowing the metal around, and other times it seems to be taking forever to get a puddle started, and then I've got this giant heat affected zone, and it just comes out awful. So for me, one of the most difficult parts is getting the flame just right. I have 3 tips. This is a 0, I think it's Victor tip. I tried the 2, and I don't know if it's clogged, I don't have tip cleaning deals, but I couldn't get the 2 to work, and I imagine the 2 is probably better suited at 1/8 inch or doubled 1/8 inch steel, but this 0 I get better results with, and I don't know if that's because, things that I'm doing. I imagine it's things that I'm doing. So, but I don't know what they are. So I'll finish this and then I'll turn this off and see if I have anything. You can see I'm going too fast now. The puddle's not following along, so I have to come back and go back into the puddle and actually reheat the puddle before it'll start moving forward. And if I stay about 1/3 of the way back in the puddle, 1/3 of the, so if the picture the puddle as it's actually kind of an oval, but picture it as a circle. if I stay back with the most intense heat, about a third of the way back from the front edge of the puddle, it moves forward pretty well. Because I imagine, because I keep the puddle, and you see all this sparking, because I came upon this tack, and it doesn't want to do, doesn't act. See, there's a spot right there in the middle. It just doesn't melt. There it goes. Oftentimes it just won't. No matter what I do, no matter how long I keep the heat there, it simply will not melt. And there are spots that just will not go together, no matter what I do. This one's acting pretty well. But you can see when I come back, it doesn't stay molten. It just, like that. So we may have a spot here that doesn't, I'm hoping it just moves forward on its own. We're just going to move forward. There we go. This should race forward any second now. There it goes. Because when we get towards the tip, be careful. It gets very hot there. And it can blow through the tip and they can just go blah and leave a big space. And then you have to fix that. So let's go for here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let's see. I'm not forgetting any of this. It may be way too red, way too hot for you to see any of it. But we're going to try. And again, I'm no expert. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And what most of the time works for me. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the flame that I saw on the interweb that they said was the best one. It's a little noisier than the ones on the YouTube videos. I'm not sure why, but it's not really noisy. It doesn't have a really loud hiss. It just has like a windy day, a wind rushing through my ears. Not a gale, just windy. Alright. We'll go down here. Sometimes it's easier to go right on the end, but since I'm not very talented at this, I find that it's easy for me to just blow right through the end and have a big gap there that I then have to fix. So, because the end heats much more quickly. There it goes, it just joined. Did you see that? I hope you saw that. There was a puddle on either side. There you can see the puddle. It's clear, so it can be hard to see. It just looks like I don't know what it looks like. Just a drop of clear liquid. Thick, clear liquid is what it looks like. I guess that's what it is. And it'll be there, and then it'll move forward. Almost, sometimes it looks like it's on its own, but obviously I've heated the metal forward enough that it too becomes liquid. And again, I'm not moving forward now, so I have to move back into the puddle. And then it'll go forward. It just means I'm going too fast. Or at least that's what I'm deciding. So you can weld like this. This is not, I'm self-taught, I'm no expert, and so anybody can do it therefore. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm no rocket surgeon, so. This is really the inner core of what is going to be the second hammer. So this isn't really necessary. It's practice for the outer core. And adding filler metal is not necessary for a hammer. You know, it doesn't need a lot of strength. And this will give it plenty of strength. For even if somebody hit it against something, it's not coming apart with all this 6 inches of weld done 8 times down each side. So it's not going anywhere. but you could certainly add filler metal. I think I would need a larger torch or a better, more skill, because whenever I try to add, often when I try to add filler metal, I end up cooling the puddle too much and it pops. So I don't think my puddle is big enough to be, my flame isn't hot enough, my puddle isn't big enough to be adding filler metal. And it cools down and pops. And then I get molten metal everywhere. And that's no fun. So here I'm just using fusion welding. I bet I'm out of frame now. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish this. And I wonder if you can hear that. It's that really light frying. Like someone's frying, but I'm on the other side of the kitchen. They're just frying like one French fry in a shallow pan with just a little bit of oil in it. Just to see if the oil is hot, you put a little piece of onion in there. That's what it sounds like to me. It's just frying. Something small in the pan. You can see me move, I hope you can see me moving too fast often and having to come back to the puddle to get it hot again so that it will move forward. Somebody who knows what they were doing might tell me about the angle, what I'm doing right and wrong, probably what I'm doing wrong. If I'm too close, how to get this flame on another tip, on the number 2 tip. I think the number 2, a larger tip and a hotter flame would be better because I could get a puddle more quickly. And now watch it move forward quickly because we're near the end. Bam. Alright, this whole thing is done. And get the glass off of there. I hope you could see that. And see, it's still red there, but it came out pretty good. Like, I'm happy with that. Yesterday I was working and it. Show you yesterday's work. Yesterday it came out like ass. See if I can. I guess I'm too focused close. Yesterday's work came out like ass. It looks like somebody just shit this out. So I'm going really good, and then it just stops. Like it just, and then I find areas, I think, that I have heated too long and just will not remelt. It doesn't matter what I do. There's a little hole there, and no matter what I did, it would not remelt there. And then other times it gets really, I don't know. And then over here it was working fine, and working fine here, and working fine here. And then it just stops working. Whoops. Working fine. And then there's a hole. It just stopped working. And no matter what I did, I could not fill that hole. And then it would start working again because I skipped the hole. Here's a tack. And then it wouldn't, I don't know. I have to keep practicing, obviously, because I'm not very good at this. But this one came out nice. So luckily this is only the inside skin. We're going to put a layer on top of this. This is really just practice for the outer layer. But that came out fine. I'm happy with that. And you can see on this, over here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a hole there, a hole there, a hole there. It's too deep in here. Like I added too much heat and it kind of sunk in. But then for this whole expanse, this section looks fine. There's a tack and there's a tack. So, yeah. I hope you can see that. If not, you'll never see this.